All right, we're recording. Let me share my screen. So for this week, these are the SQL exercises. It looks like a lot, but that's because I gave you a lot of the information so that you could basically fill in the blanks and write things out. I told you where you could go if you needed some help. There are 5 sections. Each section's worth 10 points. And I just want you to copy when you go in to submit your exercise, I just want you to copy the text in or submit a doc file or a text file. I just need to be able to, yeah, that's, somebody saw that in there, but yeah, that's because I needed a mistake so that you guys could fix it on the update. So anyway, this is the good news. So there's that for week 5. And then for week 6, I have that one all written out. This one is where the good news, bad news situation comes in. This one also has a whole bunch of information, but I also have to test your critical thinking ability and all that. So there are some things that you need to do. And in order to do one of them, unfortunately, the thing I was hoping to avoid, which is joins, we have to do. So that's the bad news. So today we are going over joins. I am very sorry, but in order to actually do your assignment correctly, you guys need to know how to do those. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gwen. So yeah, we have to do joins. I'm sorry. So make sure that you verify, you look through stuff, read the directions, please. And if you have questions, let me know. So probably the easiest way to do this is the MySQL joins on W3 explanations. So I went out and figured we'd go through those today. So we're going to just start at the top. You won't need all of these joins, but you do need to know the difference between them just for your edification. So the join clause is used to combine rows from 2 or more tables based on a related column between them. So on this one, on top, we have the orders table, and then we have the customers table. So if you look at the customer ID, and if you look there at customer ID, it looks like on this one, in the customers table, the relationship between the tables is that particular field. Then you can create the SQL statement that creates an inner join, and I believe, and I'm just going to hint because I don't want to tell you how to do your homework, otherwise, you get a little bit in trouble for giving you guys everything. I believe the one that you need to know for your week 6 project is an inner join. So this one selects records that have matching values in both tables. So remember me talking about select statements? Select this information from this table, inner join it to this table on these values. And then when you do that, you end up with this. And you notice the customer ID, that's not in there because that's what they're inner joining on. So I highly suggest that you go through these and mess around with the try it yourself section. Joins, in my opinion, are probably the most pain in the rump section of anything SQL. So I apologize, but I will tell you this is probably the best graphic I've ever seen for explaining joins, because when it was explained to me, it made me just want to throw things across the room, but this one actually makes sense. It's bad when Gwen's like, I'm gonna go cry now. Okay, so an inner join returns records that have matching values in both tables. So see here your inner join, you have table 1, table 2, and they have that matching part in the middle. A left join returns all the records from the left table and the matched records from the right. So you can see here is your full table on table 1, and then there's a little bit of overlap because you have some possible match from table 2, but you don't match the entire table. A right join returns all records from the right table and matched records from the left table. So it's just the opposite of a left join. And a cross join, basically it just returns all the records from both tables. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate joins personally. So we can all suffer together. Yeah, it's all fun here. So let's try and solve this one together. Insert the missing parts in the join clause to join 2 tables. We're going to do the orders and the customers using the customer ID field in both tables as the relationship between the 2 tables. So this one, they want to do a left join. So let's select all from orders, left join customers. Poor Atlas is like, oh, these people are just terribly upset. Gwen, since you have most experience with this, do you remember left joins? I'm going to say that's probably a no. All right, so I was going to say on this one, let's see, left join. Let's go look here. So instead of just rushing through that one, we'll just start. See, we just did inner join, so we'll do left join now. So on this one, they're doing select from your column name, select your column name from table 1, left join table 2 on table 1 dot, and then you have the column name equals table 2 dot column name. So in this one, they're going to do the they have a sample database that they use out there to let people just mess around with, where they had dumped a whole bunch of data into it. So on this one, on this one, you got our customers and our orders table. So let's look at this. This is the SQL statement. So we're going to select customers dot customer names. Now, what they're talking about when you see these, the first one is your table dot the column name, okay? And then comma orders dot order ID from customers left join orders. So those are your 2 tables, and they want you to do a left join on orders, and then on customer dot customer ID. I told you I hate these 2, and that equals orders dot customer ID. And as you can see, they both have that customer ID field, which is where we're joining. And then we're going to use a order by, and we're going to order by the customer's database by customer name. Okay. And this is what we get. Now, if you want to throw in, there's another one here. You can throw in the ascending or descending on the end of that. There we go. Just so you can say where exactly you want that in there. It is a lot to remember. On this one, I suggest instead of cramming this, because I'm not a fan of rote memorization for SQL. The only way I was able to remember SQL was I had to do a lot of repetitive projects. I actually like SQL, don't shoot me, but only when I'm doing it in application to some sort of project. So There you go. Yeah, if you have someone like a data analyst, my friend Mike, who's database manager, he absolutely loves talking all this stuff. He is way more of a data geek than I am. So this is what comes out. So when you're doing these, see this top part here, that's the type of stuff that I need you to give me so that I can get all of that and test the code. So left join keyword returns all records from the left quote table, even if there are no matches in the right table. Okay. All right. Right join. This one does everything in right table. Now, one of the problems that I had with the right and left thing is I literally, because I started in art, was, well, how do you know which one's left and which one's right? Literally all it is left is the first table you put in there. Right is the second table you put in there. No one explained that to me. They just expected me to understand. So I'm telling you right now, right and left, that's all they really mean. Is left is table one, the very first one that you put in, and right is the second table in the line. So that's all it really means. Yeah, exactly. So that was the biggest difficulty I had, because I was like, well, how do you decide which one's left and which one's right? This is dumb. Because no, they just expected you to know, this is what that is. Well, literally all it means is left is the first one that you put in. So if you want to do let me hold on one second. Let me just, where's our demo?
That seems really simple, but at the same time, it's like my brain is like, that cannot be right. Like that cannot be, it cannot, for whatever reason, that cannot be that simple.
Yeah, that's like I told you, the problem with SQL is we always try to make it harder than it has to be. So when I first heard that, I was like, there's got to be some sort of archaic math equation that goes to this. No, it literally just means right is the second one that you put there. So if you want to make a left join, then, okay, so we're looking at this statement here. And I'm just using this as an example of how to use left and how to use right. So this is a right join, because if you look at this list right here, orders is the first table they list. Employees is the second table. So they want to join on the second table. So they do a right join. Now, if we want to do a left join, we want to do orders as the first table will be the one that we would have to join on. We would just basically swap those, and then it would be a left join. Does that make a little bit more sense than the whole left, right, righty tighty, lefty loosey type of stuff that most of us are? Okay, good. Yeah, that graphic that they have helps, but also knowing literally it's just whichever one you put first and whichever one you put second. So for
That's
this
what
one,
that's what I'm drawing issues with. Is like, so in my mind, it's me writing this code whenever
right,
I'm looking, and it's talking about left and right join, and it's talking about, like, I would be going back. I guess maybe it's trying to tell me that I'm going back and changing something, but in my head, it would literally, like, it seems almost like it's trying to confuse me, because in my head, all I need to know is whatever is going to be left needs to be first, whatever needs to be right needs to be second, instead
right.
of like, oh, look, here's the way it already is, or here's the way it's been written. I just need to know what needs to go, or what needs to be left and what they want right. Like, not
Yeah. And it's just literally however you write the code, however you write your select statement. So you see your select statement there on the top. It's how you order that select statement that says, oh, okay, because I put orders first and employees second, and I want to do the join on employees, that makes it a right join. If I put employees first and orders second, and I want to do the join on employees, I'd have to do a left join. So there are a lot of tutorials that make it a lot more difficult than it has to be. So let's try this. Choose the correct join clause to select all the records from customers table plus the matches in the orders table. So let's see what we have here. Select all from orders. What does it want to know? Orders and customers. Let's see. There you go. So that's all they're doing on that one. They want you to select it all from orders and then right join it to customers, because that's just your second one that you put there. And they want you to join it on, remember them talking about how they shared the customer ID? So each one of these has that customer ID field. So that you're joining these together on orders.customer ID. And that also, because it's the same thing, basically equals customers.customer ID. Okay. All right. Now cross joins, just to make everything more confusing. So you can, yeah, cross joins can return a ton of information depending on how much you have, because you're basically returning everything. That's why it's all green from both tables. So there we have our customers table and our orders table. So in this cross join, we're going to select customers and then customer name and orders, order ID from customers, and then we're going to cross join on orders. Now, because we're not cross join, or because we're not doing left or rights, those require you to join on a row, or, like a column, because you're actually doing the full table on these. You don't have to do that table dot column thing. You have to do the whole thing. So, come on. Apparently it's going to take a while to run everything. There we go.
Oh, well, it's broke. Looks like the same class.
Nice try. But you can see this has a huge amount of records. So that's why there's no dot for each one. You're cross joining the entire table together. So like we said, it returns all matching records from both tables, where the other table matches, whether the other table matches or not. So if there are rows and customers that do not have matches, or if there are in the order section, or if there are orders in the rows in the orders that do not have matches in the customers, those rows are listed as well. So if you add a where clause in the cross join, it will produce the same results as using a inner join clause. So basically, you're putting a limiter on the cross join to get more whittled down results, but you could do the same thing a little bit easier by doing like a left join. So let me show you what that looks like. So select customers.customer name, orders.order ID from customers, cross join on orders, and then we have our where. We want the customer ID to, remember how we were joining on those two, where the customer, these two equal each other. And as you can see, it pops everything back that has that match.
It's like you're trying to teach me something, Captain, but I just can't understand.
My brain is in pain. Okay, so the last one is a self join. It's like a regular join, but the table is joined with itself. So table 1 and table 2, this is the example here. T1 and T2 are basically different table aliases from the same table. You guys are not going to use this one, but I have only seen this, and yes, I have used this, and yes, it is a pain, when I was dealing with massive queries. So you shouldn't have to do the self joins for the project that you're doing. Yeah, very funny, but yes. So let me show you what this looks like. Basically, you are setting these aliases. So select this as this, and then this as this. And you're creating those names. Basically, you're creating aliases with this one. And then you're saying, okay, we're going to create this. And then we want these customer AB, customer, basically, it doesn't matter if it's bigger or smaller. And A city equals B city. And then we want it ordered by A city. This is kind of a weird one to do, but that's what this looks like. You can put joins and SQL stuff in an iframe, yes. Technically, that's what these are. There are also unions, but we don't really need to use unions. That's where you basically put two more tables together. I think that will just make you guys throw more things. So those are the joins. And I know you guys are probably like, no, I don't want to ask questions, but if you want to run through this, right now is the good time to run through this. So which one of these joins is more difficult for you to understand? You don't even know if you have a question to ask. Are you just too confused by joins in general? Do you want me to run over it all again?
Do you have sock puppets? Maybe you could break it down with sock puppets.
No, I would just be doing it the exact same thing with a high-pitched voice. So basically on these, what I think you should do is look at these over and over again if you can't remember. And then there's also, these are MySQL exercises. And then it also shows you the solutions to these. So if you want to learn how to use these and use like a full, exactly, the best way to do it is just to practice. That's why I suggest this right here, which are join exercises. No, I was not going to make you do that in your week 5 assignments. As you can see, your week 5 assignment has create, insert, update, alter, and a select statement. But in order to do your week 6 assignment, you will have to do, and I'm not going to tell you what type, but you will have to do a join command for your query section. So but the join exercises, I will throw those here. I'll throw the link right here, and I will also throw that out on Discord for y'all. But they have a whole bunch of ones in there, and it has like all the solutions, and it runs you through everything. And they're very well made exercises. Now they don't just have the join exercises there, they also have, if you need more practice on these, create, insert, update, alter, noticing a pattern to what I created, and select. So if you need help with this week's assignment, this stuff is also out there for you guys to help. learn how to do this. Okay, so tonight's lecture is really short because I want to get into the practice of it. So I'm going to stop right here for the lecture section. Stop